Today we're bringing you a coaching session from a student who's having a lot of issues when it comes to turning the ball over. Was finding that his attacks were breaking down because of what he was doing in the middle of the park, but he couldn't really work out what he needed to do. And that's exactly what we fixed for him today. If you do enjoy this session, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And also let me know down below in the comments, what is it that you are struggling with on FC25? Let's get into it.
Yeah, see there, I pulled it back there. Yeah. That, maybe I should have even put Griezmann through his onside.
What instructions do you have Haaland and Griezmann? Do you have Haaland on poacher and Griezmann?
Haaland's on poacher and Griezmann's on advanced forward.
Okay, so I think we're both poacher and advanced forward. I hate these instructions. I hate the striker options that we have. Basically, there is... The reason why I hate it is because you're rolling a dice, essentially. But this is something you can try and look out for. More so with a poacher like Haaland than Griezmann on advanced forward. But they do have this similar sort of movement here in this sort of position. Essentially, when you break through the midfield line and you get up against the defence, some of them are going to be like, oh, I'm going to drop, going to hold. It depends if someone's playing offside trap and all that sort of stuff that kind of comes with it as well. But what I'm saying is your Griezmann and your Haaland will essentially go back and forth all the time to keep themselves onside for you then to just look for the little slip. And it's so like a roll of the dice. But basically, if you keep your eye out for that when you've got the ball, you know, with your left striker, right striker, even like your centre mids, whoever it may be, when they're really, really on that last man, you can just play a gamble to look for a through ball in behind. Sometimes they're going to be caught offside, but the majority of the times, because of like how ridiculous the movement is here, they keep themselves onside, especially Haaland with poacher plus. So you can kind of gamble on it, and that's why I'm saying it's a bit of a roll of the dice, because it's almost like you're not really using your brain. You're just knowing that in this sort of position he's going to be there. Now I think there, like, it looks obvious when we freeze frame it, but if we watch this at full speed, it's actually like, it's like, what, half a second at most that you can't see that. So I can see why you've not gone for it. The only thing that I'd probably look at when you lay it into Haaland is that, let's ignore the Griezmann scenario. Haaland is mainly in the team for aerial presence, the ability to run from the halfway line and just powerhouse his way through and run in a straight line. And then obviously once he gets inside the 18-yard box, you know, he's reliable finishing. So when I look at this sort of dribbling, I'm thinking, we've just gone from a position where Haaland could have just brute forced his way through, and now you end up facing back towards your own goal and you're looking to recycle. It's like, well, it's not a problem that we've got to recycle. But we're 4 minutes into the game, it's 0-0. Sometimes you've just got to attack that 18-yard box and say, it's like, there, you've beaten him. Can we now just go and just sprint our way through? You might not get your way through. He might come across and just get a little tackle in with Koundé, or we might just off-balance him and then anything else can happen. You might get the loose ball to Griezmann. But just saying, I'm going to play to the strengths that I have here with Haaland and just going. I've spoken a lot over like the last 18 months, and I think this is mainly when play styles kind of came in, but more so now even with like player roles. I used to call it player roles, but player identity. So with Griezmann, how do we want to score with Griezmann?
Griezmann, edge of the box finesse. Yeah,
edge of the box finesse, predominantly left foot, inside the 18-yard box, a little bit of nice tight dribbling with L2R2, some shot cancel, some skills, get our finishing off. With Haaland, it's a bit different. It's, other than power shots maybe across goal, we're not really shooting outside the box with him. Everything's going to be inside the 18-yard box. Strong shots at the near post. Any heading opportunities he can get, or, you know, laying the ball into him and across and then knocking it down, you know, for Griezmann to tap in. Was this Son that I saw here out of the left mid?
Yeah, it should be Son, just
Son,
there 25.
Him, it would be cutting in, looking for the finesse shot, similar to Griezmann, fancy footwork inside the 18-yard box, but then obviously can go on his left foot as well, and so on. You get the idea. So these three players here in Son, Griezmann, is that Salah at the top as well?
Yeah.
All kind of similar identities in what they want to do and how they want to do it. Haaland is kind of the anomaly here, where his is just, no, I just want to run in a straight line and go. So here, if you've got that bed into your brain, look, this isn't saying this works, but it's just going, well, let's ask the question of the defender. I'm a big believer in trying to overload the opponent's mental stack early on in the game, and that means making them think about things. So, if you charge through here with Haaland, next time you get the ball with Haaland, he's going to be like, he might just try and run at me with Haaland. I need to back off and leave that. Meaning then that you've got a little bit more time for him to take a touch and look for Griezmann. Early on in the game, you try and show him a Son cut in and then a finesse to the far post. Then he's going to be super, super aggressive to cover that. And then it can give you the byline to drive and just giving him more and more and more to think about, essentially. So that's the only reason I kind of pulled that back there, because it is a window where we had that. And then you come back here now and it's just like, what we
overload. Yeah.
I would say this. Who's this here?
That is Mendy.
Got Mendy at the bottom. What?
Left. Oh, was that Dembele? Sorry, Dembele, or was that?
Is it?
So I've got Sissoko in there.
I think it's Sissoko. Thuram's at the top here. Is Sissoko?
Yeah, that's Thuram there. Yeah, Sissoko. It's that Sissoko SBC that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I've just changed up the team recently. Yeah. That's why.
I was just confused because I was like, number 2. Like, is that what Sissoko is? Well, see, in custom, but yeah.
Yeah.
Only reason why I say that again is here. This is again thinking about player identities and what we want to do. You've now laid this back now and that play's done, right? We're in a very sticky scenario now where it's like, well, look at how many orange, burgundy, whatever colour that shirt is, I don't know. Look how many players there are. It's so difficult for you. So when we're in this sort of position now, it's kind of the pattern recognition to go, I'm not going to be able to just force my way through this line, but there's a very simple way that we can do this, especially against someone that's running a high line. Get the ball out to Sissoko, trigger Salah or Son on a run, whoever you wanted it to be at that time, and look for that over the top through ball and play into his play styles of having long ball pass.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I need to learn is everyone's play styles properly.
Okay, yeah.
And then I can definitely use that as an advantage.
But I think even without the play style, like let's just look at this from just a footballing perspective. The fact that you don't just lay this back and recycle is pretty criminal, really. Like,
yeah.
These two players are just stood here going, hello, I'm ready, Omit. Do you want to give me the ball? And you're like, nah, I'm going to just dribble my way through with Salah against a whole like brick wall. And it's just, asking
true.
so much. Like the fact that he just lunges and you get the foul is, fortunate. Oh, Ndombele, that's who it is. Ndombele,
that's it, yeah.
The ex-Spurs coming through there.
Ex-Spurs coming, exactly. I never thought I'd have him in my team, to be honest.
Good triggers. I think
triggered.
Go on, what were you going to say?
No. I don't know. I mean, I was thinking, I was going to actually ask, would that be the kind of thing that I would want to be doing with Haaland, like similar to what I did there, if in that earlier one that we checked
what
out?
What you did here with Haaland, where you drove, is what I was basically saying. You should have done it earlier. I think there's a few ways to look at this. So, really good initially with a hold up, laying it out, triggering Ndombele on a run, triggering out here, giving yourself those options. Really happy with that. This is, it's a difficult scenario in a sense of it. So many people look at this and go, oh, well, playing the pass to Haaland's absolutely fine. But you actually shoot yourself in the foot by playing this now because, it's very obvious where we're looking. Haaland's going, is the only one that's kind of making the run. Griezmann's not really there yet. But the opposite defender has got so many yards. What would you say? That's probably like 10 yards he's got there, like ahead of Haaland. Haaland's quick, Haaland's strong. When there's a defender that's got a 10-yard head start, it's going to be, pretty easy for him to defend that. So, because you're kind of beating him out of here and you've got a lot of space, you'd be better off in this scenario just delaying with Son, taking one more touch and kind of seeing what happens from there. Because what you can look to do is that if he comes over, you can obviously drive in on the inside with like a little ball roll. You could controlled sprint upwards. You could still lay the ball around the outside with like an L2 triangle to get the swerve on demand pass. But you're basically just saying, let the attack develop just that little bit more before you play it. The other way you could look at it and go, want to add more into this because Haaland's run is very flat, it's very straight, is you can either creative run or you can play a lock here. So you could creative run down here, you could play a lock down here. or you could go upwards. I'd be more inclined to creative run upwards. I wouldn't play a lock, I'd creative run it. Because the idea being, we want to try and throw off the AI who's tracking Haaland. He's obviously going to come absolutely flying over the Canate because he thinks he's just going to lay that pass through there and he wants to get to Son. So if he comes that way, you can then look to just take the touch on the inside. You've created run upwards. Now you can just lay that ball basically through that gap that would be appearing there. Do you use creative runs or player locks at all?
Not really, no.
No? Okay.
No.
Any reason?
It's not. I think I just found it a little bit too difficult, and I kind of just gave up on it a little bit. But I'm actually obviously more than willing to give it another go, to be honest.
Yeah. So player locks, I think, are more mechanical than the tougher skill to learn, because you have to be quite quick and precise with it, and you have to obviously like have the time on the ball for you to be able to left it, right stick in, change, and so on. So let's start with the creative runs, and the reason why I like the creative runs just as much is that the opponent doesn't obviously see like any animation for it. The player just changes. So once you've tapped L1 here and you've sent Haaland on a run, he's obviously now running in that straight line go because you lay the ball off, you tap L1, bang, he's gone. Now, if you want to change his run, best way you can do it, you're already pointing your left stick upwards at Haaland. Just tap L1 again and then flick the right stick the direction that you want Haaland to run. So if we want Haaland to run into that gap, we're just pushing the right analog stick to 10 o'clock and he'll then go there. You can turn on the directed runs indicator in your controller settings as well. So you can actually see, like, they'll have a little arrow come out underneath them like this. So it'll just tell you where they're running to, basically, which is always a nice little feature to have. And the only reason why I think it's a really good tool for us to learn is that, well, when we just use L1 and we can send up to 5 runners at a time, everyone just runs in a straight line like that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's all right, but if you can just sometimes change that direction with them a little bit, you'll find yourself having a little bit more joy. But yeah, that little run in there with Haaland where you're just trying to like brute force your way through is what I was talking about in that first scenario.
So I have a question just about the creative runs. How do you trigger those again? So if you press L1, that's usually he's running straight, but then L1 and then the right analog stick in a specific direction.
Let's say now we've got the ball with Thora. You're already pointing your stick downwards here. So you're pointing your stick there. Tap L1. You then have 0.25 seconds, so 250 milliseconds, to flick your right stick in the direction that you want them to run, and they will go that way. If it's after 250 milliseconds, you can still get them to change direction, but then you'll overlap it with like a body feint or a step over as well, because it then sees it as two different, like the one input that covers two things: the directed run because you triggered him on a run, but then also a step over or a body feint. So that 0.25 seconds stops you from doing like a step over, a body feint sort of thing. So that's why it's kind of good that as soon as you tap L1, follow it straight up with the right stick. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Brilliant. Good. That's sad. Okay. Good press.
I remember this bit.
B-lunge is so early. What on earth? You know what? It's actually really sad because he moves downwards to cover the Son and that gap's there. Then whoever this is just stays on you.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, just gets clamped so quickly. So sad. Good. Don't like this. Defending there, Van der Ven, nice. You do a really good job in. It's like I find a lot of times people's ball retention is so bad because they don't go out to the wings first. They try and just go straight forward.
Yeah.
So like one of the easiest quick fixes that your left mid and right mid predominantly when you pick the ball up in the this middle of your 18-yard box and just inside your half, your left mid and right mid are just free. Most people don't just ping that out. you've done the right idea in that, but then I don't understand. I don't know why we've rushed to get this gone here, Hassan. Like, I know it's Traore and he's so strong and fast, but you've got room to take the touch there, put your body between the ball and then obviously the oncoming player, back your dribbling, and you can just come back here, come back to the left back, go back to centre back, and kind of recycle.
Just play it simple, innit?
Yeah, I'll let you off on that one because it's the first time, but hopefully it's not a recurring pattern. Unlucky. We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Yeah,
Keep movement. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so the keeper movement, I'm not good at all. Yeah. I've only just recently started using that, so that and the offside trap as well.
So I originally didn't like this with Salah. I hate it because I think it's so like ridiculous that we can't do this. I think if people don't have tiki taka, first time passes with so many players are just so dead. Like, he plays this on his right foot. It's a little bit to the side of him. It's not great. So you can always here just take that one touch and then again let the chance breathe and develop. So if you take that one touch inwards there, how much more dangerous is this? If you take that one touch, trigger Griezmann, trigger Haaland, they're now running. He's got a decision to make with Mendy. Does he want to go? Which he more than likely will at Salah. Then you can fizz that into Haaland or Griezmann, and then obviously you can play off them. So you don't actually need to release it straight away. If you've got tiki-taka, I think you can kind of get away with it a little bit more because there's just going to be a much better pass. But the idea here is like one kind of simple thing you can look for in this sort of scenario, in the 4-4-2 with your two strikers, is if you trigger Haaland on a run now as you take the one touch, so point your left stick at him, tap L1, then lay it into Griezmann. By the time that Griezmann gets the ball and takes a touch, Haaland's about to beat that defensive line, and then you can look to play it in behind. You kind of get the same sort of thing, but then you're here. If you would have done that trigger the run yourself, you would have been in a much better position for this. Now, immediately, I don't get us to try and focus too much on what the opponent's doing because obviously every opponent's different, right? So we have to focus on what we're doing. But one thing you are going to find is there are going to be many people that are running a really high line. And for yourself, that sometimes is just about playing, again, into that player identity, the strengths that you have. You trying to look for like a little 1-2 here or laying it into Haaland's feet, I'm not a massive fan of. Like, Haaland just not really great in that sort of position. Playing this here and having it with Griezmann and yeeting it, I hate saying this, yeeting it over the top and giving Haaland something to run onto. In real life, that's what he thrives off. And believe it or not, on the game, that's what he thrives off. Just that balls in behind, I'm going to beat the defender to it. I've got pace, I've got strength, let's go. So then you're kind of looking at this and now you're forced to play into a position that Haaland's just not great in. Like, yes, he can play a simple pass, but it's just where he's just a little bit subpar. Lays it through, and then obviously you just get clamped straight away from Adama Traore. And it's just an unbelievably quick like transition and turnover. What instructions do you have your defenders on?
Inside forward for Son. Inside forward for both.
Sorry, on your defenders, on your left back.
Oh, my defenders. Sorry, my left back and right back. So my left back is a wing back. On balance, and the right back is a wing back on defend. Okay. Oh no, full back on defense. Sorry, full back on defense. Yeah.
So the only reason why I asked that is because I kind of knew the answer, I suppose. If you run full back defend on both of them, you don't find yourself in as big trouble here. Basically, look where Van der Ven is. Van der Ven, who is your left centre half, is currently basically at left back. I mean, he is at left back. He is at left back. Yeah. When you have an attacking wing back, so if you've got your left back here, Mendy attacking wing back, your left centre back basically tries to cover left back and left centre back, so they come really far out. Whereas if you had Mendy on full back defend, and it's miserable by the way that this is the fix for it, but if you had him on full back defend here, Mendy would be there and Van der Ven would be there. Now, I'm not saying you have to change that. Like it's fine to have an attacking wing back. It's just something that you have to be aware of then, that basically if you lose the ball kind of in the middle of the park, they can look for a very quick transition in the gap that Van der Ven's left. So how can we try and deal with that? essentially saying to yourself, if I do lose the ball, you've got to switch with right six switching to your centre halves and then just start beelining back towards goal before they even get a chance to look to play the ball. And then obviously the easier fix is put both fullbacks on fullback defend and manually get them involved. But that's like, I'm not saying you have to do that. That's your personal choice. At the end of the day, it's one of them.
I'll try it out for sure.
I think it's good to have a tactic set up for when you're winning a game 2-1, 80th minute. Change the fullbacks to defend. There's no point to take that kind of extra risk. But
I could definitely try that. I can actually definitely try that.
I'm going to be really, really. I always kind of have one like sort of. I'm just going to really be nitpicky here. I hate students losing the ball straight away from kickoff. If you're trying like a kickoff routine, I'm like whatever, because yes, they're really good. It can get you goals, but I hate there's so many people that do this where they get out wide or they just try and dribble their way through like the whole team. Just play football. Just come out to the fullback here and then come forward with him. It's like out there, and then you can use Son. You take the touch and turn, and then just start sprinting. It's like, what are you going to do against Koundé here with Son? Like, there's so much for you to do to try and get past him. And then if you do, Kanate is going to be there as well, and then it's just kind of asking for trouble.
And that is what I got from it.
Sorry, was he not offside? What?
Was he? Let me have a look at that again.
It's the right back that plays him on.
Oh yeah.
Literally, he's released the ball now.
So
look at the line of the pitch. Oh, that's so
yeah.
Okay, this actually plays in massively to what I said about at the start with Haaland and Griezmann, and just saying, I'm going to roll that dice and look for that ball in behind. This is what this guy does here. He just gambles that he's going to be onside. The way that I think Keane will be on, Keane's advanced forward, isn't he? Yeah, it's ever so minor, but can you see how he just holds that? Like he sides, he basically sidesteps a little bit, doesn't he? To like keep himself like somewhat onside. I mean, it's so borderline. But as if he just fully yeeted there, he just goes offside, right? It's criminal. But that's what I was talking about with what you can look at. And you're going to lose the ball again here from kickoff, aren't you?
Most likely, that's what tends to happen.
So this, we're going to get it twice. Not acceptable in the sense of we've just gone 2-0 down. All right, whatever. Like we know how, we know why. That second goal really frustrating because it came from our kickoff as well anyway. But here, you are trying to fizz the ball into Griezmann. Just look at the position of everyone else on your team right now.
Yeah.
Do you know if Paul Solanke like works his socks off? If he receives the ball here in real life, he's like, man, I've got so much to do. Just leave me alone. Like, why are you giving it to me there? Like, instead, I can't emphasize enough. Fullbacks are so free for you to just pass the ball to and then play. What happens here, and pretty much can hand on heart say to you, if you pass the ball back to the fullback here, he'll be like a kid in a candy shop and he'll get really excited and he's going to go get some sweeties and he's going to get that sugar rush. He's 2-0 up, he's feeling good. He more than likely just yeets at you with Koundé, giving you then that space to just play obviously a through ball into Son who's going to be there, but just play with the fullbacks. Like the fact that you've even tried to go inside here to Griezmann is just, what is Griezmann going to do in that position?
Well, nothing. He's got pretty much 3 people there.
Yeah.
3 players there that can close him down.
Exactly.
Yeah, that seems to be a bit of a problem of mine, to be honest. Just little stupid passes like that, where it's just like, and I feel like I'm obviously going to not use this as an excuse, but I feel like seasons is a big part of it. Playing seasons on not an ultimate team, because I wasn't really getting punished for the mistakes that I was making. But in this, I'm getting punished when I make the mistakes.
Yeah.
So it's just,
Little cancel there. Nice. Good trigger. So I like everything here. In the sense of the turn, protecting the ball, triggering him on a run, but you've not. I do this. I'm really guilty of this. So you've programmed a play in your mind, right? And you have basically said, I am going to play this play regardless of what I see on the screen in front of me, because that's what you've programmed in your brain. While as it's the right idea, as in turning, protecting the ball, triggering Son on a run. That's all really good. But then you've got to react to what you're seeing on the screen. He's seen this play. Like he's there. He's on it. He's marked you every single way, and yet you've still chose to play it with Haaland. And it's like, okay, well, we've got to adapt to that and go, oh, he's trapped that Raccoon Day. All right, maybe now can I look to drive here with Haaland? Could you play a lock here instead? Because he's obviously covering on the inside, and then move Son out wide, so then he's going on there, and Son just has a little bit of room. Then Son gets to come down here, then Son could look for a cross. Like, anything can build up from there. But you just have to adapt to what happens in front of you. And as soon as he tracks this run here, we're not allowed to play this ball with Haaland. I think if it's a different matchup, so if this was Griezmann playing this ball, and this was Vinny, Mbappe, someone with a bit more like oomph about them, like Son just doesn't really have that out on the wing for that sort of like battle, I would say. Then yeah, we might be able to kind of still want to look for this ball. But when he's there with Koundé, Son's just not going to get there from a Haaland pass. Good press. I'm just going to say this now. You've just pressed for Sissoko. I'm happy with the press because we're 2-0 down. Like, we are sorry, not Sissoko and Ndombele. You are naturally going to be a little bit more aggressive. You don't win the press. What should happen here, in your opinion?
Is it should go to Thuram and track back and try to get the ball off him?
Yeah,
and don't pull my defender out of position.
Yeah, exactly that. It's get to Thuram, it's pull him back.
Yeah.
And basically, you are now going into a reserve chill because you need to wait 5 seconds for Ndombele to get back. And the reason I say that is because what kind of happen here is people then go up. Okay, I didn't get the ball. I'll switch to centre half. Centre half's going to step up, and we're going to leave that gap in behind. And it's an unbelievable step. Like, you get the ball, but how risky is that?
Yeah, that is very risky. Yeah.
Anyone else triggers this kid on a run, puts him in behind there. Rutter gets it. He takes a touch. He lays the ball over the top, and chance. Thankfully, he was kind of daydreaming there. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that. I don't even know what was going through your mind on. Did you bail on the pass? Do you have your pass receiver lock on late?
I'm not too sure. I have to double check that. Probably is.
Yeah, I'm assuming you wanted the pass here originally.
Yeah, and then
you change and move your left stick up to here and fully yeet it with Van de Ven.
Can I watch that again quickly?
Yeah.
Just on last time.
You get the ball.
Yeah.
Pass here. Then you move your left stick up to there. So because you're on late, it means you can change it basically until they release the ball. And yeah, you just yeet it up. Okay.
So what would you recommend I change that to? Is
late's fine in the
late's
sense of
fine.
You obviously you can bail out. So like if you wanted this pass here and then you go, well, actually I don't, he's covering it. You can move your left stick to there and then it'll pass it there instead. I sometimes go through a love-hate relationship with it because it's really good in those areas. But then there's other times where I press pass and then I then go and set my left stick up ready to say, like, take a touch. Like, so say if I've laid the ball to Salah, I'm now taking a touch here with Salah. So then I start moving my left stick from, like, up there to there. But then the ball's not left yet, so then it ends up passing it to someone else. So that's where it can kind of have this, like, caveat. But, yeah, late's fine. Good step. Good. Nice. Back. Full back. Lovely. Good. What we like in the box then. Nice. Lucky. That's fine. Good football.
That little skill move he did there was just pure luck, I really need to work on these skills because I don't really know many of them.
Which one?
Was that a skill move? This one right here.
That?
Or is that? Yeah, that's not a skill move, is it? Yeah.
Agile dribbling, L2, R2, and then you let go of L2 to then
go
into
yeah.
Instead, yeah. No, that was
just
good dribbling. That was really nice. Really, really nice. Good switching. Good. Do you use second man press at all?
I've only recently started trying to do that.
Okay.
I've only recently started trying to do that. But usually when I use the second man press, for example, let's say if he's running down the wing and Mendy's next to him, and I'll be more central based, I'll try to kind of control my player in the center so he doesn't pass to anyone, and then let Mendy go after him. Yeah.
That's fine. Good. Nice to see the finesse shot. Good ball. Oh. I think the shot choice is poor. Just because of like where players are. I think near post here would be better, but again, I think that's probably being a little bit too harsh. You've not had too many chances, so I understand just getting the shot off. Like some people here would just like shot cancel this instead and just try and take out any chance of it getting blocked altogether. But I think just straight up going there with the power, just normal circle aiming near post, you might find a little bit more success of just getting it through. But yeah, that's probably being a little bit too critical. But good. At least we're starting to get some chances. Good step. Well done. Nice. Good. Please finish. Lovely. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really nice in triggering the Griezmann on the run straight away. Identifying Haaland's there. Back in your finish. Good. He gives you the ball back from kickoff because it's his turn to just turn over the ball, because why not? Good.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah.
It's where I just look at that and go, you have a choice to keep running and you're more than likely going to get clamped. You could try and like L2 R2 come back up. You could try and ball roll down, but either way, you're just getting clamped from both angles from the left back and Canate. So it's unfortunately one of the weaknesses to Griezmann's play. He's like, not the quickest off the mark there. Good. Look for a finesse maybe. Nice. You don't finesse it?
Was that not a finesse shot?
No.
Okay, maybe I just tried to go straight through and hammer it then.
Yeah, you don't hold R1.
Okay.
Do you have play style indicators on above the head?
No, I
don't
think I do, I think I have turn off, but maybe that would be a good idea to put on.
No, I mean, because it would have said it to me, but you use R2 to sprint. You've not changed any of your buttons or anything, have you?
No.
No, yeah, so no, you just never hold R1 at any point.
Oh, right, okay.
You just sprint. It's just the way
that's really weird.
It's just so like, it's almost like a CR7, like he rifles it and foot.
Yeah, that he rifles it. Yeah.
Because I think if you finesse it, not that it's a goal, but it certainly works the goal.
More of a chance to work the keeper at least and get a corner. Do you know what? I know, but I usually do finesse those, but I'm not too sure why I didn't finesse that. Like I know where I go wrong and stuff, but I usually do finesse those ones. I'm not too sure.
If you do, then you just put that down to
yeah.
Like that. That's fine. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Just freeze frame this. When you look at this here, imagine you're defending. If you were to put odds on, so I'm going to say turn up and pass there, that's option A. Come and dribble down here, option B. Turn and lay the ball there into Ndombele, option C. Turn and just pass it, just play it straight back to the fullback and the fullback brings it forward, option D. What would you say is the most obvious play there?
A,
that one.
Yeah.
Second most obvious?
C.
Third most
then
obvious?
I'd go B.
And then fourth most obvious. Okay.
Yeah.
Point of that exercise. When someone's defending, you need to think about you as the attacker. And this is a general rule of thumb. Like, take this with a pinch of salt. Don't just take this as the gospel and go and live, the rest of your FIFA years, FC years like this. I always say, think about what is the most obvious play and do the opposite. What that means is, if you are looking at this now and you're going, well, A is the most obvious, do we want to play that every time? And it's like, there's some times where you have to play the most obvious play, like Salah cutting in for a finesse, because it can be so obvious that people go, oh, well, he's not going to do that because it's too obvious. Or it could be such an obvious play, but it's Haaland running in behind to just get one-on-one. So obviously, like, feed him in, you know? So, like, you have to use your brain a little bit when we're talking about this. But I look at it here and I go, well, he can be super aggressive on this, you know, Haaland on the inside, because the worst of the worst is that you do take this touchdown here with Son and keep going, and he'll just be like, oh, well, that's fine. You're only out here. You're not in on goal. You've still got so much like room to go. So he can be that aggressive, and you just turn and play exactly into what, you know, just look at this now. As soon as you get this, everyone's going, turn in to Haaland. Bang. Whereas if you go turn here, lay the ball into Ndombele, send Son on a run, send Haaland on a run, you now get the freedom to charge forward here then Ndombele. These aren't going to track back and be there, and now you're pushing up against his defensive line and he's in a more vulnerable position because you're running at him. He's got runners that he needs to spot and track. Whether he wants to or not is his choice. We don't know. He's his own person. He can do what he wants, but it's scary. You know, if you think about, you know, Spurs, one of the things that they're so good at is that when you get the ball and you want to break and you've got Maddison picking up the ball here, well, you got Son running out there, you got Brennan Johnson staying out wide, Solanke's making a run here, Kulusevski's coming in here, and it's just good because there's so many options. And if you've beat that midfield line, then the defence are going, well, when do we step? When do we press? And what ends up happening, they just keep running back until they get to the 18-yard box, and then obviously the freedom's up to Maddison to, you know, essentially do what he wants. But we haven't given ourselves the opportunity for that, you know? So just trying to not play into that most obvious play every time. I can't believe that man's just power shotted that there. Wow. Good. Good jockeying, good patience, good turn, good step. Lovely. Release. Nice. Hello. You got caught then. Ah, he moved the keeper. Sad.
Yeah.
That was a really weird, like, it's almost like he just got like caught out of the lane, like it didn't lock him onto the lane there, and like he just goes round the long way and you get there.
Yeah.
So some people would be like super critical here. I tried to keep things simple and go back to what I said about player identities, and you go in, well, if we get one-on-one with Son, we play into his strengths, which is the finesse shot. So absolutely, this is your first time getting in with Son, fine. If we then go and get in one-on-one again and we go for a finesse shot and he moves the keeper, then obviously I'm not happy. Like, you know, we've seen him move the keeper, so we have to be very much aware of that. So yeah, I'm like, I don't look at this and really like tone in on it. The only thing we have to then be aware of is he moved the keeper on that one. When we get in on the next one, he might not move the keeper. He might keep him near post because he moved the keeper on the last one. And there's so much more to it. Hopefully we'll get another sort of similar opportunity that we can dissect. But good. It was a big chance. Good. Oh, you do have the playstyle indicators above, by the way.
Yeah, I do. I realised it was Son when he went through. Yeah.
That's how we know the Salah one wanted finesse as well. Then. Nice. Right, half. Okay. His turn to give the ball away from kickoff again. Nice. Good feet, unlucky.
Yeah, done.
Wow.
I got away with that one.
You got so like fumbled with yourself almost. Like you didn't like here you partial team press, you double tap R1. Yeah, there, because then you saw how you got that little green icon above
yeah.
Ram's head. Yeah, you go in and you just kind of press tackle as well.
Yeah.
How do you feel you are in defence? I mean, so far I've been quite happy with most things in terms of you dealing with jockeying and whatnot. But do you feel this is an area that you struggle with, essentially?
It's hit or miss again with games. I mean, usually I'm pretty I'm pretty decent in defense, but I guess I mean because I lose the ball so much, he just probably in like within 20 seconds he'll probably have like 3 or 4 attacks, and sometimes it just gets too much for me to handle, and I'll just make one mistake, and it puts too much pressure on myself.
Hate,
There's
hate it,
always room
hate
for
it.
improvement.
Okay, yeah. So always room for improvement. I'm not gonna go over that there with Van der Ven because yes, we got away with it. But if it's, I think as you said, the ball retention being the focus means that you naturally are going to be having to defend less, which hopefully will just make your defense much sounder. I hate this. So just watch this and tell me, what do you think I don't like here?
R1 pulling Son away from. Was it the R1 pulling Son away, or was it the playing the ball back to? Was it that there?
This here. So
Yeah.
the playing the ball back to Mendy is great. You've used the fullbacks, I said. Fullbacks so free. We can use them when we're building up. But it's the release of the ball now. When you look at this, so there is a clump of players kind of here in the middle, right? But right now, Van der Ven's got no one on him. Mendy's got no one on him. Whoever this right centre back is,
Romero.
Romero, sorry, has got.
Oh, that was Saliba. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Saliba has got Keane on him. I like to look at this in the sense of everyone has their own little bubble. Area of effect is what I call it on them. You want to release the ball as someone is about to encroach on your little bubble, right? Because the idea being, if Van der Ven's got no one here right now, Mendy's got no one, right backs, kind of occupying whoever that number 5 is. Son's got the right back and the Haaland's here. We have to basically draw a player out like a game of chess. We have to make a move, and then they need to make a move, and then we get our turn again. So our move here in chess is just taking this touch upwards here, getting Adama to come over, whether you then lay the ball there into Son, to hopefully then try and free up the space a little bit more for Ndombele in the middle. So when you lay this now, when you had no pressure on you, already, look how Adama's just clamping on you. Right back's obviously there, centre back's there. Bang, you can then just lay that through, and then now we've got a triangle already that Haaland's going. I don't know where to go, and I don't know what to be like. I don't care who you are, whether you're the best dribbler in the world or whatnot. This is just not a nice position for Haaland to be in time and time again. You know, so you have to work the fine line of actually let them press you slightly before you release the ball. If you release, even when we think back to that, was it the one with Son where I said you needed to like just let it breathe a little bit more? It's a similar sort of concept that we have to let the game breathe a bit more, develop a bit more before we release the ball. Because if we try and just go straight away, you're just not going to have the numbers advantage, essentially. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense, yeah.
Good. Better. I actually really am disliking the way that we're using Haaland so much in this sort of position. How many times are we turning the ball over by just laying it into Haaland, who's going, I don't know what you want me to do here. Like, I think if this is Griezmann, and Haaland's on the other side, yes, we can look for this. We can trigger Haaland and little touch over the top free ball because he's running such a high line. But when you're on Haaland's side, we don't have the luxury here of doing this. So the way I'd approach this sort of scenario, because this does look really good, by the way. Like, I don't think there's any reason why we don't look at this and go, yeah, I want to lay the ball here into Haaland. But you have to kind of go with the approach of, you either trigger Haaland on a run and you're looking for that over-the-top through ball in behind for Haaland, or if you're going to lay it into his feet, it's a lay into feet to then just get a touch and try and sprint with him, essentially. You can't turn and shimmy. If you are turning and shimmying, it's to just go straight back into here and then lay it out to there and go.
Okay, can I ask a question about Haaland as well then?
Yeah, of course.
So let's say I was in that position again there.
Yeah.
If I held L2, would he be someone that I could potentially hold the ball up with?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
So as long as you position Haaland in a way where ball's here, his butt is like, in between, and he comes in from there. Yeah, you can hold L2 to just shield it and lay it off. Yeah, not a problem.
Okay.
Not a problem whatsoever. Okay, so we win that on the press, which is a bit fortunate, but that's fine. Griezmann's just not going to get past that centre half, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. I can see where all the mistakes are going as well.
The lane's just always cut out. It's one of them ones where, look, at the moment it looks like it's on. So again, I'll take this with a pinch of salt. Easier way is just either carry on dribbling, try and draw him in, and then just go back to the fullback and go again. But kind of almost feels counter intuitive, really. Slip. Oh. This is what I'm talking about. You have to.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
Like that partnership there should be, if you lay it into Griezmann, you don't need to trigger L1 here. You don't need to do any of that. Just trust FC, as much as FTIQ has been a bit of a laughing stock. Just trust Poacher plus and Haaland's elite movement. Take the touch and just press triangle when you're up against this sort of high line.
Yeah.
All right. And I don't like that because I think this is a skill that is maybe not going to be translatable across like multiple FCs, dependent on what they do with FCIQ and how the movement works. So this might be something that's only for this year, but as long as we're aware of that, and we'll see how the movement is next year, then that's fine. But yeah, just that touch and just trust that Poacher plus essentially. Yeah. What did you do here? Just been miserable, really, isn't it? Saliba, the man that you're laying that to. He's like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Just before we wrap up, I'm gonna put this on really high speed, and I just want to do an exercise with you. Oh no! Yo, okay, fair enough. You worked it.
What was I meant to do?
I just felt it was criminal to not lay this to Salah first time because
he's on the edge of the box there, waiting with the space.
He's on the edge of the box to A, look for the finesse, but then B also. The reason why this is so good is because he's going to be panicky about Salah finesse, but Salah can go for the finesse. Salah can drive and do a skill like shot cancel, step over, barber spin, McGeady can't not McGeady, so I ain't got 5. Whatever it is, I don't really care, but he can drive into the 18-yard box, or he can just slip it into Griezmann. So you've got 3 options. You've got a favourable finesse, you've got a drive if you back your skill moves, and you've got a slip into the striker. Again, that if we were to spin my words around and you could go, yeah, but that's the most obvious play, so I went for the drive in with Ndombele, and I'd go, hey, you know what, you're quite right there, that is. So like I'd understand that approach as well, but then there's somewhere I said about how some things are just so like favourable, like a Salah finesse on the edge of the box, that I'd still want to play the most obvious play here, essentially.
I feel like I do that a lot with Ndombele as well. Well, I mean, because his shooting's only 79, so it would have made more sense to me to give the ball to someone like Salah in that position, and I do that with Ndombele a lot.
You want assisted shooting, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever tried precision shooting?
Not really, no. But again, if that's what...
So basically, do you find when you get in the 18-yard box, some shots go straight at the goalkeeper's throat, or some of them just drag wide and you think it should just go on target?
Yeah, that's happened.
So basically, precision shooting, it came in 2 years ago. Well, it's always been there. It used to be called semi-shooting. They buffed it 2 years ago, and that's when I started running it because the buff was like solid enough. And basically, think about, when you do a power shot, it's fully manual. So if we were to say 0% and then 100% manual, that's where a power shot sits. I would argue for assisted shooting, it's about 20% of like how much you really need to like aim. Like it's not really that relevant, to be honest. You just press shoot and it will still find its way like on target or near the target. You could be aiming here, down at the bottom like that. Well, to be fair, you are with your left hand log stick. You basically aiming like right down here, and it still nearly goes on target. While it's precision shooting is like 70% down to your aim. And what it means is, because it's not fully manual like power shots are, what it means is that basically now, with Ndombele, you treat obviously your left hand log stick is the center of the player that you're controlling. So if you aim, I always treat the analog stick as a clock, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. If you aim at 4 o'clock here, you see how you're probably aiming more like 5 o'clock if we're being like critical. If you aim at 4 o'clock here, one of two things happens. It goes on target, exactly where you've aimed, and goal, or the keeper saves it. It's very rare that if you aim correctly, because you get a little white line to show you where you're aiming, and obviously you can use your left analog stick. It's very rare that it would like miss completely. That's not the point of precision shooting. It is where you aim is where the ball goes. It's very easy to take when you miss a chance because you go, why did I miss? You clip it and you look at it and you go, oh yeah, I was aiming down off target. Oh, okay, sweet. While with assisted shooting, you could be aiming here and it could still go there because of random number generator. Do you know how that works on the game?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you were talking about that in one of the precision shooting videos. Time shooting, sorry,
yeah. In time shooting, yeah.
Yeah.
So only if you feel like it. So I argue it's super strong. I really like it. The players that shouldn't use it are ones that are extremely mechanical inside the 18-yard box. Like they've got skill moves for days, left stick dribbling for days, because like you can go from like facing one way, you get a quick snap turn, and then you shoot, and you can end up like sending it to the corner flag. But from watching your game here, inside the 18-yard box, you're pretty smooth. You know, nothing's too like erratic. Then I think you could give it a go if you feel it's necessary. Good ball, well done. Boom.
Yeah, and that's it. That over the top. Exactly what you're saying about Haaland.
Yep. Just keeping it simple and just going, okay, I'm just going to play into those strengths that we have. I do think you get bailed here though. I think
he moves his keeper.
You aim bottom, don't you? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I aim across goal.
Yeah,
on that one. I aim across goal. Yeah.
So you actually get bailed there. That's assisted shooting. I mean, it goes central. It doesn't even go near post. It just goes like dead center, I think.
Yeah. Does he move his keeper slightly to the left, and it goes like on his right side? Yeah. But this precision shooting, I definitely want to have a look into it.
I'd recommend if you go into skill games and practice scenarios once you've turned it on. Go into there. There'll be attacking scenarios in the practice scenarios, it's called, and just give it a go in there, and you'll get a very good idea of how it feels.
And then I can also just practice my time shooting and whatnot in there as well. Yeah.
I don't like that. I'm not gonna be too like critical with the defending because I've been pretty happy with it, but we'll just touch up on it. Right now, where's the danger for you?
Him just driving forward pretty much.
Yeah, because he's got a whole half
using that space. Yeah,
exactly. So you being like, let me go, let me snap it at heels is so risky, because if you get it wrong, you'll recover anyway, because defensive recovery rate is so ridiculous. But we can't work on our defending based off that, because if they fix defensive recovery rate, Keane's just gone here and you concede, right? So although you will recover, we have to look at this and go, danger, alert, we need to protect that. Just beeline back towards goal with Saliba for like 2 seconds. He'll then go, I can't run. He'll turn back, he'll wait, and then we can kind of defend on that. But you step and go, and then look, bang, Dallow's there, Van der Ven's there. Now, what should have been him breaking away, kind of getting in behind, is just not happening, you know? Because defensive recovery rate for all these guys is just a joke. Good. Much better. Like with Haaland, it's 1 or 2 touches release, 1 or 2 touches release. Good ball. Oh, unlucky. I really like that. That's like different. Most players don't go for that. Nice. You use advanced defending or tactical? Advanced.
Advanced.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that there, but that's fine. Hello.
That wasn't meant to happen. Pure luck, by the way. Must have held L2 at the time. Was it? It's L2, isn't it?
Yeah. L2.
Yeah. Or maybe I should have said I meant that.
I'm assuming you meant with the pass to go to Ndombele.
Was I still holding the analog stick up? Yeah, was I?
I just think you're aiming up, like.
Because I aim down and then I aim up again, don't I?
Well, I just think when you look at it, again, think about like player strengths. Who do we want running and breaking this defensive line with this space to run into? Haaland.
Haaland, yeah.
So like, I would assume you wanted Ndombele to then play into Haaland rather than
Yeah.
the other way. You did 2 bars of power. Just it's a very simple thing to fix. It's just going, well, he's the first person. If you underpower it, if you just press the power button here and it just goes there, because you're on assisted passing, it will just still go to Ndombele absolutely fine. Like it literally, so this is actually a very unique scenario where you have 3 players all in line. So if you did 1 bar or less, it goes Ndombele. 2 bars, it'll go Haaland. 2 and a bit bars, it'll probably still go Haaland. 3 bars, it will go Son. 4 bars, it will still go Son because there's no one else above Son.
Yeah.
Even if you 4 barred it, it won't just go out of play to like row Z, unless you squared it. Obviously, if you just an X back on the ground, it'll still go to him. Right, fine. What do we do here? Good. Can you see how very quickly in just that light attack there? Look how you don't release the ball with these midfielders. You take a touch turn, you've drawn him in. So when I go back to that area of effect, yeah,
the little bubble, yeah,
he's starting to get closer to you. So it's not like banging, but it's closer. Here, you've drawn someone in, you release. There, you've drawn someone in, you release. There,
okay, yeah.
You release. There, you've drawn someone in, you release. And just look at how doing that has just caused you to then have so much more space further up the pitch. Because you've drawn the players here, they're not all running back and get into those positions. So you have to back yourself in those areas. I'm gonna think that you wanted to shoot this with Son.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna volley it, to be honest.
Yeah, a little bit sad.
Yeah.
I think you had the time to actually just take a touch, to be honest, and then get your shot off.
Yeah. So I got a little bit overexcited with the play there, and I just thought, let me just try and hammer this in.
Have you made any subs?
No, I haven't. I don't tend to make subs in this, really. I mean, I know I should, but
yeah, I think
I haven't really got the strongest of benches.
Okay. I think just fresh legs can always be a bit of a benefit.
Yeah.
You do trigger, but you get Griezmann on the run. So you make a bit of a mechanical error there.
Was I aiming at him, I wonder?
You aim slightly down. Again. If you get Griezmann on the run instead of Haaland, which if you got Haaland on the run, then you look for that ball, that's fine. Go with the rainbow. He's off.
Yeah.
Much better in terms of you got a lot more movement. I think you don't need to release this here as quick with Son, with Salah. You can just take a touch and then look to. Oh, sorry, you do actually. No, fine, ignore me. Nice. Just a quick one here. Try and go into her. You got beat with Thuram. He's beat your midfield line. He's up against your defense. Aggression dependent. You have to be very risky with this sort of step, is what I'm saying. Because midfielders are out of the game. You step with Van der Ven. Van der Ven gets caught. We're now in trouble. Thankfully, you kind of get that one right. Just be aware of that sort of step that we're doing. He absolutely does you with a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Come out and then bait. Could we do? So, if this is me, this is the difficult one because if he full yeets at you with a goalkeeper, then chipping it is obviously a great play. You could even finesse it on the left foot, kind of round this way, that way. I think this is where the player lock can work well because at the minute, the pressure is more on you than it is on him. He's kind of accepted this is a really good chance for you. So you've got work to do. If you play lock here into this man and then hold him here, what we are hopefully getting him to do is to stop with Mascherano. And then you can press the left stick and the right stick in again to go back to Son to then just keep running and then get the shot off. But obviously that is quite high mechanical, but also it's it's a catch-22 because if he actually does just full yeet the goalkeeper out here, you then have to be very quick to get back onto Son, then either walk around him, chip him, finesse it, and so on. But can you see how he gets the benefit of bringing the goalkeeper out and just fully covering this and coming over to Son at the same time?
Yeah.
He's not really had anything to think about here with Ndombele is kind of what I'm saying. So you give that player lock, it does give him more food for thought. So I said I wanted to look at something before we finish up. I wanted to look at here on a very quick speed. Not that one. That's quality. Flyback speed. 2. I feel like you focus left-hand side of your attack way too much. So let's just do a very quick count. It won't be perfect. I don't feel like you use Salah and Dallo enough. So this is 1 attack down the left-hand side. 2. We'll count it kind of every time Son touches the ball, essentially. Salah obviously comes in on the inside forward, is he on, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll include that one. 3. So Salah still only touched the ball on that inside forward.
That
really,
one time, yeah. And I'm back out there again,
4.
yeah.
So what, it's probably going to be quicker if I just do normal speed, but then just fizz through here. Salah touches the ball, so 4 and 1. 5 losers.
That was 6 last night there,
yeah. yeah, so you go straight out here, yeah. 6. 7. Like even when we look at that now, he comes in slightly here. Let it out to there. He gets to then drive, controlled sprint. You can send Griezmann on a run. You could lay it into Griezmann. Griezmann could then trigger Haaland. Haaland could then look in behind with that over the top free ball, so on, blah, blah, blah. But you got here. We won't include that. Let's Son touch it again here. Yeah, 7. So
it's being played a lot in
it's being played
with Son, basically, yeah.
And I don't think it's a problem that you use Son. Obviously, Son's very good. Like I got no issues about that. But I think you're losing out a lot on the player that's much quicker, much better at driving at someone. And just overall, obviously, I think when you favour one side so heavily, the opponent can kind of catch on to it and just I don't think they consciously go, oh, this guy only attacks down the left-hand side, but subconsciously, you just start to realise you're keeping your eyes on one side of the screen, essentially, because it's not going on that other side.
Yeah.
So I think variety kind of is key. I was watching, it was the Villa Spurs game, actually, the other day, and it was McGinn at right mid and Matty Cash at right back. And I was like, that is Emery just saying, we do not move down the right-hand side when we're looking to attack, really. I know McGinn basically plays as a centre mid anyway. He's not, as an out-and-out right. But what does that mean then for, Udogie on that left-hand side, Son on that left-hand side? They don't really need to care about tracking back as much because it's just nowhere near as a bigger threat anyway, right? So, but that's fine for them because it's like, well, it's McGinn and, Matty Cash. It's not really that great of a partnership out there. But, bro, we've got Salah. Yes, I know you've not got Dallo on balance. You got him on full-back defend. But you can manually get him involved, manually bring him forward, and just kind of keep that variety, really. So, just food for thought for you, something to kind of keep an eye out as well.
Okay, cool.
All right. Was there any questions from that?
No, there's a lot that I'm going to work on. There's a lot I'm definitely going to work on, yeah, for sure.
So, I think the big takeaway, I'd say... and I think this will help with ball retention a little bit as well, because I think the ball retention is coming in from you not letting the game breathe, but B, letting yourself get pressed a little bit before you release. You've got to draw someone in before you move that ball on to the next player, essentially. So that's kind of the big focal point, I would argue, for you. On top of that as well, being a lot more wary about when you're playing it into Haaland or when you're playing it into the strikers altogether. We got you playing it into them when there's room for them to work in, giving it to them when they've got that one with Griezmann, he's got 3 men around him while we're even trying to get that into there and so on. Use the fullbacks, carry it up with the fullbacks and then kind of look to release. And play a little bit more into the strengths of each individual. We want to go into Griezmann and then look to play that quick and over the top into into Haaland, and from by the looks of it, you are already half doing that as well, because I've seen you look to the finesse with Son, look for it with Salah, with Griezmann, and so on. So that's fine. Just maybe leaning a little bit more into it with Haaland. When you are looking, you're facing back towards your own goal, you're crowded out. There's loads of players here. Just go back to the centre mids. The centre mids are going to be free. Treat it like a real football game. People don't like to, like a real life football game. People don't like to do it because I don't know why. Because I think it's a video game. But at the end of the day, we're here to win. Just play football. Just go back to those centre mids and go from there. Especially now you got Sissoko, long ball pass. You lay the ball back with Haaland, with Griezmann, whatever. You trigger them on a run, and then bang, he looks over the top, and that gives you a lot of room to play in, especially with a lot of people running that auto offside drop as well. All right.
Cool.
Any questions? Anything at all?
No questions. No, none at all.
And if you do give precision shooting a go, just have a bit of time with it. I've done quite a few videos on it over the past, so you can have a little look at them. And
I'll have a look at them, definitely.
It's a very easy one to take on the chin, because basically if you miss, it's your fault. Like there's no real ins and outs to it. It's just you didn't aim correctly. So it's quite a simple one to take, more than anything. There we have it then, folks. If you want to catch up, then there are other videos. You can click this link right here, and that will take you over to it.